Thank you. Thank you very much, Sister Alima Ali. Let's give her a round of applause for a wonderful job this evening. We started off with Sister Ali and Gori. I ain't seen Gori. He's here. We thought you left for something. But we want to congratulate Gori and Alima for a wonderful job this evening. Give them a round of applause. Brothers and sisters in St. Julian, at this charming school, the Presbyterian school, with great history, with great links to the United National Congress and indeed the United Labour Front. I want to acknowledge and salute the political leader of the United National Congress, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and Dr. Gregory Bisesa, my parliamentary colleagues, many of whom are here. I would like to congratulate the speakers before me, the very dynamic, the dragon, a man who was shown to be one in possession of technical expertise, analysis and policy in the area of energy, engineering and development. Give a round of applause to Dr. David Lee. We had before a very dynamic attorney at law, someone who has been recognized as a leading debater in this parliament, who has emerged indeed as one of the fiery speakers and dynamic leaders in the parliament for our debating team. Give a round of applause to Mr. Saddam Hussein. And of course, the speaker before me, who really, when he leaves the platform, even I become a little intimidated to start. But I know that is not his objective. But even I come to the platform and I say, oh my God. So I called my executive member, Bush, earlier. When Barry opened fire like that, I said, bring some tea for me. I need a little pickup for that. So I want to congratulate our hosts for a wonderful job in short time in putting together this mammoth meeting in Princestown, the Honorable Barry Padarat. We are told that there are 300 persons outside this venue and much more inside. And we want to congratulate you for coming in this weather, in this horrible weather really, and standing up because I'm sure we don't have enough chairs and so on for you. So we want to thank you for coming out, for showing your support, for showing your love to this Pavement report, an important institution in the United National Congress that has developed. It's called the Pavement report. I think not to be outdone, the PNM also wanted to introduce a report, Khadija. Is it called the Anenu report, something like that? They couldn't say Avenue, they say Anenu. I think it's the Anenu report they want to introduce. So I think we need to watch them with that. Members of the local government fraternity, the mayor of Siparia, Mr. Dugnat Meru, the chairman of Sandy Grande, and his team, other members of local government, brothers and sisters all here, but also over 3,000 viewers, listeners on several social media platforms. We want to welcome you and thank you. And I'm sure that has grown. That information I got was an hour ago, so I'm sure that has grown by now. Brothers and sisters, who would have thought? Imagine September 2015. Who would have thought 10 years later, Trinidad and Tobago don't have foreign exchange? The workers at Petrotrin are home without food, without income, without support for their children. Who would have thought 10 years from 2015, we would be importing fuel products from Jamaica? Huh? Who would have thought 10 years after, this country will be washed in blood, where a 64-year-old mother was brutally murdered in a home invasion in a state of emergency? Who would have thought that? But who would have thought Stuart Young could have been Prime Minister of this country? This country is unrecognizable from the paradise that Kamala Prasad Bisesa left in 2015. The country is unrecognizable. Today, Barry mentioned the Princestown Fire Station, but the collapse of the fire service is spreading like wildfire. The collapse of the fire service is spreading like wildfire. All over Belmont, Arima, Tonapuna, Pinal, Princestown, and Mayaro. Eric Williams promised the people of Mayaro a fire station. I think he was with Tishera, Tishera or something, an old minister from the 60s. What do you name, I'm not you gonna know that. No, because you are so young, you know. Isabel Tishera and Eric Williams were in South on a tour, and he promised the people of Mayaro a fire station in 1962, somewhere there. It took Kamla Prasad Bisesa in 2015 to open a fire station in Mayaro. But today, I want to tell you what has happened. The President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and this is a matter really in the public domain, it's not a secret. She's a frequent visitor, Her Excellency, with the first man, that's what it's called. No, sorry. The first gentleman, that's the correct term? That's it, yeah. She's a why are you laughing like that? She's a frequent visitor to Mayaro at a private house with the first gentleman. And they go often to Mayaro, and nothing is wrong with that. That's a beautiful place for recreating and so on. Nothing is wrong with that. So they visit Mayaro frequently and stay at a private home. But I understand just 2 weeks ago, Her Excellency was there, but they had no water. So Her Excellency called the Mayaro fire station, and she said, look, we have no water here. Or you could help out with a tank of water. The fire officer in Mayaro said, Excellency, we would love to help you, but we have no water. And more than that, we have no fire engine. That is Trinidad and Tobago. The poor lady had to go and get, I think, 2 pigtail buckets with water to bathe or something like that. For the lady and the first gentleman to bathe, they had to get 2 buckets of water. That is Trinidad and Tobago. Ordinary people have to buy water. She called the fire station, she said, we want water. They said, we would love to help you, but we don't have water. And even if we had the water, we don't have no fire the equipment to bring it. Trinidad and Tobago, this is where we are. Now, the more serious issue there is not the 2 pigtail bucket. The more serious issue is this. What happens if a house catch fire in Mayaro? There are children there trapped. There are women and children trapped, as happened elsewhere. Where the fire service coming from? Where the service coming from? It coming from Arima. We thought it coming from Princestown. Barry said, no, they have rat. Can't come from there. So, brothers and sisters, something happened to a business in Mayaro. What is the state of affairs? They don't have a fire appliance. They don't have water. We left them with a brand new fire station. They could have just procured, you could have procured 12 fire appliances and so on with that, brothers and sisters. So that is the crisis we face, and I wanted to raise that with you in my introduction. And I wanted to take this opportunity, as I am on this matter of the fire business, to indicate that it is a disgrace that National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines has failed to release the report of the committee that investigated the fire that caused the lives of Member of Parliament Minister Lisa Morris Julian and her 2 children. This is a manifest failure of this incompetent minister. And we support the Fire Service Association. They are correct, and we join them in calling for the report to be released and the minister to face questions in the parliament and in the public on this. The people of Trinidad and Tobago deserve the full truth of the circumstances surrounding the fire and the measures implemented to avert any such tragic occurrence again. Mr. Hines must indicate whether he has taken any steps to provide adequate resources, including appliances, to the fire service, to ensure that fire officers can respond in an effective and timely manner. This minister stands guilty of concealing the harsh facts surrounding the death of former Minister Maurice Julian and her family members, and he stands accused of denying essential resources to the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, everything around them is collapsing. Everything. Barry told you, not Barry, I think Saddam told you earlier, this is one of the constituencies where you have two-story road. I had two-story house, it's two-story road now. Now, if that wasn't a tragedy, that could have been a comedy. But it's tragic, brothers and sisters, and the PNM simply don't care. Stuart Young is the mini-me of Keith Rowley. Did you notice both of them attended the opening of the energy conference recently? Man, them dressed the same. A black suit with a red tie and a red shirt. They dressed the same too. Like in the same movie, what was that again with mini-me? Austin Powers movie. They not only talk the same, have the same ill intention, the same incompetence, they just look the same when they dress. That is a crisis in this tragedy that we are in now of a dictatorship where power is being transferred to a successor in waiting. That is from medieval time with kings and so on. They would say, well, I am now 92 years old and the 5-year-old son will be my successor. That happened in medieval times, brothers and sisters. That don't happen in modern democracy. In modern democracy, the people choose their successor in an electoral process. At the point, they are waiting, they want to open the central block in Port of Spain. They have built nothing in 10 years. They have no plan. They never had a plan. They never had a program. They started by saying they're building a cardboard factory. You remember that? Where the cardboard factory gone? Huh? The plywood factory? Well, the plywood factory come and gone, we don't know. They started with that nonsense. They boasting. They know how much hospital and thing we build. They're building the central block hospital. They're hurrying to open. You know what happened now? Our information is they hire somebody to do plumbing and so on. Now, plumbing in a hospital is a critically serious issue. That has to do with water. It has to do with sick people and water. What could be more, telling? Dr. Bodo, you agree? Now they are about to open. They discover that the plumbing system is faulty. They have to do over the plumbing now in the central block in Port of Spain, which they're boasting about. Rowley want to cut the ribbon outside and then tell everybody we can't tour today, run away, because inside has nothing. That is the hoax that they want to perpetrate on us. Brothers and sisters, this is the only country that had a state of emergency to lock up the criminal and then lock up the commissioner of police. It's the only country. This has, as Chandra Sharma used to say, this has happened nowhere in the world. And we believe him. But brothers and sisters, it couldn't happen except in this dictatorship that we live in. This is a country where the Coast Guard tow in a boat, they tie a boat to their Coast Guard vessel, and they lost the boat. You all understand what has happened here? This speaks to the most incompetent and inefficient management of law enforcement and national security assets, possibly in the Commonwealth. How you could tie a boat to a Coast Guard vessel and lost the boat? Recently, did you see the headline in the newspaper recently? 25,000 rounds of ammunition. In a simple way, we could say bullet. Because, people might know what's round of ammunition in that sense and so on. Military grade, I'm reminded. Gone missing. Brothers and sisters, I want to tell you something. Before that story made the front page, I really heard of that a few days before. When the man tell me about that, somebody sent a message to me. I say, don't set me up now. Don't set me up now. I'm not going on no platform and saying that. Huh? I told the guy who gave me the information, I said, don't set me up. In fact, I thought he was a PNM. And trying to set me up to go on a platform to talk rubbish and then discover that that is fake news and a hoax and so on. I couldn't believe it. There was something surreal about that. Lo and behold, we got in our reports, they published incidentally, I'll get it here momentarily, but they published from the Defense Force, brothers and sisters, they published a letter from the commanding officer of the regiment. And we have the letter. And in that letter, brothers and sisters, the commanding officer of the regiment is confirming that 25,000 rounds of ammunition, military grade, went missing at the Komoto barracks. The country sleep away when they hear that news. Nobody could believe it. And brothers and sisters, that is an amazing thing. How 25,000 rounds of ammunition could go missing? When did it go missing? How did it go missing? Why did it go missing? Where did it go missing? It have a song that does go like that, eh? It have a particular song. But how this could happen? Under whose noses? A long nose, a short nose? Who presided over this? I mean, people can't just go in a place and pick up that. And they have set up a committee. Again, they will kill the issue with a committee. What they are doing is trying to kill that issue with a committee. So you cannot talk. And that committee will take 100 years before they come back with a report. And when they come back with a report, they will say, well, that's secret. We can't tell you that. But we could take action. But it's secret. That is what Rowley is doing with that. I would never have believed that unless I read from the Defense Force that happened. And today we call again that this matter should be brought to the Joint Select Committee on National Security for a thorough investigation and examination as to what happened. So they're chasing down everybody with legal gun, and they forget 25,000 bullets gone missing. That in the hands of criminal elements is a disaster, brothers and sisters. I want to get a really important issue for me now, because a story broke the other day on the EMBDC, and I did the impossible. I remained silent. The media kept calling and asking me for comment and so on. And I did the impossible. I remained quiet. Lo and behold, Keith Rowley had a press conference. I thought the man coming to tell me when he go in. And as Kamla say, just go. Man, just go. That go now, and that's what the song? Bellman, go now. He came in this meeting, huffing and puffing the EMBDC and the corruption and the this and the that. That's what he came to do. The EMBDC is the poster for the PNM. They have no performance to show. What they going to show? The two-story road? Huh? What they going to show? The mosquito crack? They will show the iron wall by Claxton Bay? Huh? The Claxton break, the mosquito crack, the two-story road. What they will show? The plumbing at the hospital in Port of Spain? They have nothing to show. Absolutely. You know, it took an education expert in this country to tell me something again I find hard to believe, to be honest. Now, I don't follow every piece of news in the world. Huh? I am told by the education experts that in 10 years they have not built one school. In 10 years. Again, I thought the person telling me that is a PNM. You know? I said, but you sure you're setting me up? In 10 years, they have not built one school. We built 105 years under Kamla Prasad Bisesa. They didn't build one. Not one. So what they have to show? Nothing. So they come with this Mickey Mouse business with EMBDC and so on. But what Rowley don't want to tell you, and I think we have it on your screen for those viewing, was a front page of the Guardian newspaper that came out the week before Rowley spoke. And the front page of the Guardian newspaper with a screaming headline, corruption cases stalled despite $1 billion spent, investigations into EMBDC and live sport shelved due to TTPS delays. $1 billion gone to investigate little me, to investigate Anil Roberts. They spent $1 billion. Keith Rowley believes that this headline never existed. Fitzgerald Hines believed that The Guardian is a comic book. Stuart Young never see a Guardian in his life. They think that this didn't happen. So they come now and talking about EMBDC and the charges and the corruption. Tonight we ask them where this $1 billion gone. Where? Who took $1 billion from the treasury for this nonsense and rubbish? Mrs. Prasad Bisesa has pronounced on this. And I'll repeat some of her comments she made on this matter. Who took the $1 billion? But I want to tell you that we are living in a dictatorship. Attorneys filing freedom of information requests and so on have received in this country some startling responses from this government. I make reference only to two matters. A matter involving attorney Asha Ramlal, dated 14 January 2025, and a matter involving Mr. Anthony Dobson, I believe a member of the OWTU, dated 6 February 2025, recent letters, in which the government, in responding for requests under the Freedom of Information Act, to give fees, legal fees, how much money spent for lawyers and so on, the government says they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on legal fees. But hear what? We can't tell you who get it. Why you can't tell us who get it, please? They say, and I quoting from a letter from the Office of the Permanent Secretary Attorney General. This is what a permanent secretary writes. And this is the original, what his name again? Limo. This is what the Limo fellow put. It's not the permanent secretary. This permanent secretary didn't write that. They may have signed it, but they didn't write it. This is Limo. He said, further, well, we're not giving you the information on the 300 million or how much legal fees. Given the prevailing crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago, where extortion has been increasing and lawyers have become more frequent targets for criminals, it is unreasonable to disclose in the public the fees earned by lawyers. No, but they could have said I is one of the richest men in the country, concerned with my secret and my security. You could say that, but you can't say, you understand what happened? They have admitted that the crime situation is so bad under their government that they can't tell you how much money lawyers get. But this is taxpayers' money. Anyone receiving taxpayers' money, the taxpayer must know. And they are saying that we cannot tell you this, to disclose this information has safety and security concerns. Imagine that. This is a dictatorship. And here is the second reason. We cannot disclose this information and invoices and so on. It may expose the lawyers to defamatory and uninformed. And here it is. It might expose them to degrading statements, such as calling them eater food lawyers. So you can't tell us how much money they get, because we're going to know how much food they eat. That's what they're saying there. You know? We can't tell you how much millions this one get and million get, because then you can really know how much food they eat. That is what they put in a letter, official letter, because people call them eater food lawyers. And having regard to the brief and so on, it will be alleged that they did this out of political favor, and they could have reputational damage to attorneys at law. But nobody does study my reputational damage. They don't study that. Nobody studies that. They don't study reputational damage when they attack members of the UNC and say who have linked to a gang, who have serious corruption before them, who before court and things. They don't study our reputational damage. They don't study reputational damage for the friend and the family. The eater food, what they call them? Eater food lawyers. So they have now institutionalized this term. The permanent secretary, eater food lawyers. And the one that and the next one, which I'll come to now, is this matter of the Pariah information and the Pariah Commission of Inquiry and the fees paid to lawyers. The lawyers representing the company Pariah have said that they can't give out the information neither, because of people's legal fees and so on because of personal safety. They spent $50 million, but they don't want to tell you who got it because of the personal safety. What the personal safety of the 4 divers in the pipeline? Anybody care about that? Any of them that care about the personal safety of the divers? They care about the personal safety of the lawyers who got $50 million. The divers family haven't gotten 50 cents to this day. Lawyers and others gone with $50 million, but we don't know who it is. But I want to tell you something. Jump high, jump low, we will find out. And when we find out, you will find out. So we will discover that in due course, and we will come to the population and let you know that, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, on the EMBDC matter, I wanted to tell you because I had to say something about it now. This matter of the EMBDC, this is the biggest political witch hunt and the most expensive political witch hunt that involved the massive abuse of law enforcement to target political opponents, spending hundreds of millions of dollars, weaponizing the office of the Attorney General and a state enterprise to go after political opponents. This is what they have done. This saga is worthy of a Netflix season. You all watching Netflix these days? This is Netflix and it has 3 seasons. All the seasons are released around election time. So the first season with about 7 episodes came after the 2015 election. That season, we call it season 1, is when they went to court and filed something unknown in this jurisdiction about cartel behavior, illegality, conspiracy, and all type of things in a civil law case. Civil law. That was season 1. And remind yourself, do you know what started that? Contractors sued the EMBDC for their money. The EMBDC didn't want to pay, so they counter sue. And say, okay, everything all you do was illegal. Brothers and sisters, at the end of season 1, to a crescendo, they hire a foreign group, a foreign mercenary legal team with a British star girl by the name of SRP Kate McMahon. She picked in the papers to a star girl from Britain, came down as a legal mercenary for private prosecution. What they did is they realized that they couldn't go to the DPP with rubbish. The DPP will not stand for it. They didn't have any confidence in the TTPS. So they hire a group from England for what is called private prosecution of political opponents. They paid them $45 million. Today, $50 million. 5 million British pounds foreign exchange. Gone. They pay them, and these people come down and they say, look here, we will do the work, we will do the work, we will get, and they refer to us as political targets. We have read the correspondence, we have it. We are referred to as political targets. So SRP Kate goes with $50 million, she gone. But she want more money. Season 2 start in 2020, another 7 episodes. Election come, man. 72 hours before the election in 2020, a High Court judge who couldn't give a ruling on that matter for a year and a half ruled that there are serious questions to answer on a preliminary issue, Rule that. Okay, SRP Kate continue the investigation and continue asking for money. Every time they ask for money, Keith Rowley himself will approve it and then cabinet ratify it. But that money was not to fight crime, to fight gangs, to fight, to equip the police, It was to go after political targets. Former cabinet members, they had big front page headline, charges coming, charges coming. You all remember that? 2020 election. Charge come, charge gone. And I tell people, you see me? I have been blessed in life, Anytime the police come by me, it's because they're asking me for a donation. When police reach me, they want to know if I could help. I have letters home. I don't work with that thing. I have letters home from the police. We want to thank you for the printer. We want to thank you for the water. We want to thank you for the little donation. That's what police have contact me for. When I contact, well, what does contact them for? I don't know. I don't contact them really. So I want to tell Rowley, today you have police car in front of you. Tomorrow you could have police car behind you. So brothers and sisters, $50 million gone to the commando team. Now they come back, EMBDC again, they come, rah, rah, rah. You know what happened here? Rowley gone on a platform in City Hall, San Fernando and elsewhere. And every time they talk, man, Moonilal have questions to answer. Moonilal have questions to answer. He must file his defense. Now, no court never ruled me in contempt for not filing a defense. Huh? But Moonilal have questions to answer. Well, Moonilal answered the question. You know they changed the question? You could believe that? I filed a defense in December 2024. And I'm proud to say I have a very brilliant King's Counsel as well, a star boy. So the King's Counsel filed a defense. When we put in our defense, which is my defense, they say, hold up, we want to change the claim. We want to change the question. But how you could do that? How you could do that? You move the goalpost in the middle of the match. You move the goalpost. So when they realize now their case collapsed, they realize their case collapsed, they say, okay, we come in with new allegations. So when they came with the new allegations, I asked them, I said, but what happened to the old allegations? If you come with new allegations, what happened to the old ones? They said, forget them old allegations, man. We have new things with you. So brothers and sisters, their case was blown wide open by our lawyers. It was blown wide open. And today, they come with a next cock and bull story to say, well, when I was minister, I was a shadow director. So I tell them, why only didn't take a shadow court action? And if I was a director, I want my fees now. I am entitled to fees from the board if I was a shadow director. They come with this cock and bull story about shadow director, where that is unknown to our law. That is unknown. We don't know anything about that. But what happened when they read our defense, they realized they had no case. So now we have to answer that. And I bet you when we answer that, they will come with the next allegation. Because they are not concerned with that case, they're concerned with election. They want to use that as a campaign weapon. But you must not allow them. And you know the truth is, unless I talk to you about this, really nobody cares. Huh? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about this. And as Kamala says, nobody cares about the fella from Kulmutu neither. Really nobody cares. I walk through the mall in this country 3 times a week. I actually go to the gym. You mightn't believe that, but yeah. I walk through the mall, I walk on the street, I walk around all over. Nobody never come up to me, what is about this EMBD thing? What is that? What is that about? You know, just come to ask me, boss, we have to get them out. We have to get them out. We have to win. So brothers and sisters, let not your heart be troubled. Very soon, in a few weeks, we will have to deal with Ronnie Mohammed, the chairman of the EMBDC, who presides over this debacle. The EMBDC cannot provide land for the former Caroni workers. They shut down all the sites. They cannot develop. All the sites overrun with bush and bamboo and all type of thing. You cannot give the people land. Caroni workers are dying and not getting their land. But Ronnie Mohammed spending millions of dollars to go after former government officials. And I have a classic for you. I will show you this one. I think Kevin has this as well. Huh? Kevin has this as well. Now, I always say that these people are crazy people. It was only announced 2 days ago, I think. 2 days ago, that we're having this meeting tonight. This was not a meeting planned weeks and weeks before. And it was announced yesterday, or today, maybe, that I am speaking here. I don't think anybody knew that before yesterday, maybe. Yesterday, Pavement report, by this morning, Roodal Moonilal is speaking. You know what happened today? The 25th of February, the 20th of February, 2020, 20th today. At 12:09 p.m., a big-time email went out, Kivan has it, from Vandana Kisoon to Savitri Sukraj Bihari, copied other people and so on in a law firm called Pollinier, Delabasid and Jasselon. That's a law firm that is working for the EMBDC. And the subject is witness statement. You know what happened here? I'll tell all you. They're now asking officials from the EMBDC today, hello, you could help us. We're building a case against Moonilal. You could help we? Look it in my hand. Hear what they say. I mean, I'm reading it, you know. There's an email, you know, of today, 7 hours ago or so. Further to Mrs. Sukraj Bihari's email, we kindly inquire whether you would be amenable to providing written responses to our questions. In particular, we require clarification on the following issues. We note that you were listed as an attendee of board meetings dated 14 April 2015, dated 7 July 2015. Please confirm your attendance at these meetings, and if so, describe your role during these meetings. All you know what was all your role yesterday? They asked people, describe your role 10 years ago on those 2 specific dates. Additionally, please provide any recollection you may have regarding events and discussions that took place during these meetings. Please provide any information you may have regarding the circumstances surrounding information of award of contracts. Did you hear this one? There's a real email that went out today, you know. You all hearing this? Am I talking too fast? All right. Did you ever receive any instructions from Line Minister Dr. Roodal Moonilal regarding any of the EMBDC contractors? Additionally, were you aware of any other members receiving board instructions or directions? We would like to find out more about the process for issuing checks to contractors. Describe the process in detail, including your role and responsibility. We would like to find out about the PricewaterhouseCoopers forensic investigation into roads. Please confirm whether you were involved in that. Describe your level of involvement and responsibility. I want to tell you something. If I ask anyone of what you eat for breakfast yesterday morning, you can remember. You asking people today what happened in July and April in 2015. These people have no case against me. They file a case and don't have witness statement. They don't have evidence. They have nothing. So what they do now is they go down on Independence Square or High Street by the junction and they lasso anybody they could find. They say, come. Tell we what happened. Tell we what go on. We want to know. We have a case against Moonilal. They file case against me, you know, and asking people for evidence in 10 years later. This is the madness that is, David Rudder, this is not a fetton here, this is madness. This is madness. The lawyers representing former members of that board and other officials, lawyers representing them have told me today, in light of this, they are looking at taking action against the EMBDC on the grounds of harassment and witness tampering. Ronnie Mohammed, you must get a good courthouse suit. He will be running Mohammed when we're done with him. The members of that board and their senior managers must get their courthouse closed. This is harassment. This is witness tampering. They are trying to solicit and force people. I am told that letter today is not the first time. 2 or 3 times they have been doing that. People are not given voluntary statement. In the criminal case, in the criminal matters that have been investigated, I just want to make one reference to something. Do you know the lady from England quarreling that the TTPS not doing enough, they're not helping. The TTPS say, oh, we're trying our best, man. They take, in 1 week, they issue 30 search warrant. They go on by old people with heart problem. They go on by business places and things. You know the police got embarrassed by that? Even the police realized it's a political witch hunt. I have in my hand a document purportedly from the police giving a report. Imagine this day, 2021, August 2021. A report from senior police officers, and the part I only want to tell you about really. You know what they say? In a nutshell, this report, they say we have received help from the English EMM. That's the name, fancy name for the company, you know. Kate. SRP Kate is EMM UK. And they have said that notwithstanding all the good work of Sister Kate, the larger investigation has been abandoned. They abandoned what they call the larger investigation. They have now said everything that remains is within the TTPS capacity, and we do not require further engagement with EMM UK. The police say we don't want them. The English people tell the government, they say, pay we more. We go get Moonilal, we go get Roberts, we go get them. Pay we more. The stupid Rowley gone and pay them more. $1 billion later, they have nothing. And today I want to tell the police officers, we know their names. Legal advice tell me it's too early, don't call their name yet. We know their names. They are persons in the police service. We know them with contacts to Fitzgerald Hine, a woman police officer in particular. And they have instructions from Hines to reopen the investigation after $1 billion. And I want to tell the police officers, be very careful. Gopal Lock is not Sipol Lock. We will be calling for the TTPS to account for the money and the time and the resources and whether they took instructions from Fitzgerald Hines to go on a political witch hunt. And we know the identity of the police officers. And if you do the dirty work for the PNM, you will end up like Erla Christopher. You will end up like that Jacob fella from somewhere around here. You will end up like Suzette Martin as well. If you do the dirty work. They use Erla Christopher, and then they buy a bus and they throw she under the bus. Because even the bus break down. That is what they do. So brothers and sisters and police officers, I tell you, do not do the dirty work of the PNM. I wanted to also speak very briefly on one other little matter, and that matter has to do with a headline in the papers. You notice, brothers and sisters, notwithstanding their obscene obsession with EMBDC and so on, have you noticed they come with a next hoax? 500 houses for squatters. 500 houses for squatters. Do you know that the government LSA themselves have said that there are 60,000 squatters in Trinidad? 500 into 60,000 is less than 1% of squatters. They come with this big headline, 500 squatters. That is a political hoax. They are doing that because they want to tell the people vote for PNM, but they will not. They will build nothing between now and the election. If they couldn't do it in 10 years, could they do it in 10 weeks? No. So brothers and sisters, don't get chained up with Camille SRP. What is called she again? WPC Camille. Yeah, in 10 years, she reading warrant and she ain't get no promotion. She's still a constable. I tell she should talk to Anand Ram Logan. He does handle that. So, brothers and sisters, 10 years, they couldn't help squatters. They will help them in 10 weeks. They went and break down the squatters' house in Ramjatan Trace, Tampuna Road, Arima, somewhere there. Break down that in the most vile, brutal, horrific manner. Put the women and children on the road. When they got the backlash on that, they said, okay, we go help now to bill for 500. That is gimmickry of the highest order. It is shameless and obscene. They will build nothing, brothers and sisters. When they build the 1 or 2 starter house, they call it, they will want to put it in marginal seats to see if they could get 1 or 2 more votes in marginal seats. That is their operation. We know that. And don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. I tell you, don't fall for that type of gimmickry. So brothers and sisters, I know it's getting late. And we normally would want to finish by 9 o'clock, I think. So I would wind up now to tell you that the United National Congress is on the road to victory. When the UNC wins, everybody wins. Brothers and sisters, when Kamla wins, everybody wins. When the UNC wins, we create jobs. When the UNC wins, we create prosperity. When the UNC wins, we get investment. When the UNC wins, we get quality education. When the UNC wins, we get healthcare service. When the UNC wins, we get social development. When the UNC wins, Trinidad and Tobago wins. And we have reached this great moment in our history where we are on the verge of returning to power. We are on the verge of taking back this country. We are on the verge of rescuing TNT. You saw yesterday, the labor movement has united with Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the United National Congress. We have been talking to our partners. We have been talking to some of the folks in other parties who have been tested in political struggle. Don't get chained up by some of these pop-up, what they call them, these pop-up party people and so on. They have no screening. We don't know if they are screaming, but they have no screening. They have no meeting. They have nothing, and they want to announce candidate. I mean, I don't want to repeat Anel Roberts, because they don't sue Anel, they sue me. So I don't want to repeat Anel Roberts. He described it this morning. I would tell you, go to his post this morning. I say no more. He was talking about personal attire and so on. So, you know me, I can't go beyond that. So, brothers and sisters, don't take chain up by them. Some have no party. Some have leader. The political leader, they never make a name. They're using a name. They never make their own name, They're using a name. Don't take chain up by them. They have no candidate. They have nothing. They're sneakily hoping that the UNC could pull them out. And then quicksand, some in political quicksand. But I will advise the political leader, for those in political quicksand, Madam Political Leader, throw a rope for them and let go the next end. So we are on the verge. We are on the verge of something big. We are on the verge of rescuing Trinidad and Tobago, and this is our moment. This is a moment for Kamla Prasad Bisesa. This is a moment for salvation. And I leave you with William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare told us that there's a tide in the affairs of men which, taken at the flood, leads on to victory, leads on to fortune. Omitted all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and misery. Upon a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current well when it serves. Tonight I tell you, we are afloat. The current is here, and this is our time. Thank you. God bless our great party, the United National Congress. God bless our great leader. God bless the people of Princestown, and victory will be ours. Thank you. God bless you all.
The UNC will deliver 50,000 new jobs when we form the government. The UNC will stop the P&M property tax. The UNC will deliver laptops and tablets to our children in school. We tell them the UNC will reduce food prices. Tell them that the UNC will deliver on reducing murders and solving crime. You will have a safer society. We will not support a cashless society, but you will have more cash in your pocket. Vote for a leader who loves you and your children. Vote UNC.